The other day there was a rumor going around that oil was in the water of Jamaica, and quick time the government and the authorities came and shut it down, saying nothing like that. And how that rumor started to go around was there was a meeting somewhere in Europe, and the discussion was surrounding like drilling around the Jamaican waters, and that's how the rumor started. It was Observer that brought the news, Jamaican Observer that brought the news. So it wasn't like it was any tabloid, any news tabloid that brought it. So the rumor started milling around, but the government came out and shut it down. But right now I have an article that's right in front of me, and it was published by the same news tabloid, the Jamaica Observer, a very reputable news source in our country, if not the most. It's on the Gleaner. The article was published on June the 6th, 2025. The headline is Black Gold Rush, and the title, United Oil and Gas dares investors to strike it rich in Jamaica's untapped waters. And before I get into the article, do remember to hit the like button. It's free of course, and it do a lot for the channel. And if you're new around here, hit the subscribe button. And don't just hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because if you don't hit the notification bell, these videos will just swing by your For You page and you won't even notice it. United Oil and Gas, UOG, is intensifying efforts to attract partners for its Jamaican offshore exploration, positioning the Walton Moran block off the island's south coast as quote-unquote a world-class frontier opportunity that could mirror the transformational oil discoveries in Guyana and Namibia.
Polo shirt and my damn shirts, tight jeans with a bad clocks. That's all info. No boy man, that's fresh I represent. Subscribe and follow and everything. As you say, support the movement.
CEO Brian Larkin, speaking in an interview with Charles Archer on his platform, That Stocks Guy, outlined the company's strategy to unlock what he calls, quote-unquote, one of the Caribbean last great untapped oil plays. The CEO went on to say, I think the string of pearls is there, and we're showing prospective partners that, look, there is a serious, credible way forward here with this project. In a success case, we've got a line of multiple wells to go and drill. This could be another Guyana or Namibia. It's all there to play for. The comparison referenced recent oil discoveries that revolutionized those nations' economies. Guyana's Stabroek block, discovered in 2015, now produces approximately 600,000 barrels per day with potential reserves of 11 billion barrels. The company estimates 50 million is needed for the first exploration, which United Oil and Gas is trying to woo partners to help finance. Data on prospective oil field off Jamaica's south coast are shared with these potential partners. We have some regional players, some mid-cap, some major household names reviewing data, Larkin said, though he declined to identify specific companies. A 50 million well for the size of the prize here is a compelling investment case, he added, noting the block's certified mean 2.4 billion barrel potential by Gaffney Klein, a globally respected energy consultant, and internal estimates that it could reach 7 billion barrels with about 40 leads already identified. Small independent exploration and production companies like United Oil and Gas often seeks partnership with larger companies called oil majors, such as ExxonMobil and Shell, to help them cover the costs, since getting success often involves drilling multiple wells. But Larkin is adamant the risks are not as great as it was in exploring Guyana, especially given that Jamaican oil potential is in waters 50 meters to 2,000 meters deep, compared to finds in Guyana in water at 1,990 meters to over 3,000 meters. The asset itself is conventional. It's a shallow water play. It's not deep water, so it's not ultra expensive drilling. It very much plays into a low carbon development project as well, which ticks a lot of ESG, environmental, social and governance boxes for the super majors. He also outlined that Jamaica presents a quote-unquote world-class frontier opportunity for prospective partners. So we're sitting on a very unique assets for a company of our size. Its large structural traps, proven source rocks, a very strong compelling technical case. Jamaica is clearly underexplored, and that's where the value lies, as we've seen in regions that have been underexplored, Larkin stated. Earlier this year, the company secured a 2-year extension on its license to drill, moving the timeline from January 2026 to January 2028. In May, it submitted an application and is now awaiting permission from the National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, to take samples of the seabed in what is called piston core sampling for further testing for the presence of oil and gas as the last stage ahead of drilling. Historically, Jamaica drilled 11 oil wells between 1955 and 1982, while past wells showed hydrocarbons, none found commercial volumes, a risk United Oil and Gas aimed to overcome with modern seismic data. So with the license extended, you need to have a strong engagement. The window is now for Jamaica, certainly on the back of the sentiment that we are seeing coming from Namibia and Guyana. He said the quote-unquote low-hanging fruits are in the Walton Basin, an area that is better explored and understood, in which a single prospective outfield called Colibri is thought to hold as much as 400 million barrels of the hydrocarbons. Gaffney Klein assigned a 19% geologic chance of success to Colibri prospect, potentially rising to 33% with piston core result. The Morant Basin, though less explored, has potentially larger scale oil field, with most given James Bond theme names. You look in the Morant Basin where there's more of the James Bond theme that we mentioned, where we've identified Thunderball, which has potentially over 600 million barrels of prospective resources. We've also got Moonraker, Blofeld, and a number of other targets that we've identified, but that's where you see the real frontier scale upside, and that sits in the Morant Basin. Larkin pointed out that in the last 18 months, the company worked behind the scenes to streamline its operation to get it ready to go full stream ahead in exploring opportunities in Jamaica. The company is prepared to move quickly on farm-out agreements. Well, so we have the license currently. We've got 100%, but in a farm-out situation, we would obviously be giving equity to the partner. I don't know what that would look like yet. Obviously, there is potential that we would retain operatorship for the current phase of the work program. There's potential that an importer would want to take the operatorship. So that's all still to play for and be discussed and negotiated. Next step in terms of how fast can we move? We can move very quickly. We're a small team, a small board. There isn't an on-risk decision-making process. We're advanced on permitting. We've scoped out the technical partners to work with us on the permitting. So, look, we would be ready to move pretty quick. We have a partner in place, and if somebody wants to come along to us and offer us a proposal that was acceptable, again, we could execute a farm-out agreement very quickly as well. These things are fairly boilerplate, so things can happen in a really quick, short period of time. Really quick. With permitting advance and technical partners lined up, Jamaica's oil future may hinge on the coming 2.5 years of exploration progress.
Yeah, man, I say I don't know what Francis in the 90s, boss. I represent for dancehall info. You see me, I say, connect up right now. Make sure you follow the page, subscribe and follow and everything. You see me, I say, support the movement. Polo shirt and the damn shirts, tight jeans with the bad clocks. Dancehall info. No boy, man, that fresh I represent.